Okay, so this is a D.va VOD of a master player and possibly near grandmaster, considering the game is as such. All these people that I see, were very, you know, I see very often. Infamous, Xenofly, Zero, see him often. Queen, see him often. See him Savage, see him often. SQ, XZ, see him often. Cryptic, see often. This guy I don't see, but I recognize a lot of people in this game. So you're playing. I should back and talk about the team comp. Right now, you guys are playing goats with Lucio, Zen, and Ana. So one of these guys should be changing to Brig, and whichever one that is doesn't really matter that much for rank. But of course, the meta way is the Ana changes. This Ana will be a Brig instead. The reason is that the utility of Brig's stun is super important, and it's an extra layer of aura healing for the team. And also rally makes it so that a lot of characters don't do as much damage and gives the team even more tankiness, especially for the backline. You guys know what happens when Jonak gets 100 armor from the Brig, right? He's an unstoppable killing machine. So that is what Brig will provide for the team. So it's really key that you guys should have a Brig. But this VOD's about you. So what you're doing so far is okay. You should be going the same way. Energy bubble from the Zarya though. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm kind of seeing that you are playing a little bit too aggressively. You've lost quite a bit of your health, all of your armor, and a little bit of your health, while even your Reinhardt is still completely healthy. So you want to play in a safer position that does not expose yourself to the enemies, because the team in GOATs cannot really afford to place resources on anyone outside of the Rein, outside of really key characters, and the D.va is, relatively speaking, an unimportant character in GOATs that we don't want to put our resources into. So if we had a Brig, I don't want to see a Brig trying to armor the D.va. I don't want to see the Zen's ult being placed on the D.va for a very long time. All these resources should go to the right. So the way the D.va should play is passively without taking the damage in the first place. So that's one thing about D.va so far. Plus, if you were playing closer to your Rein and behind him, you can be shooting that Brig without needing to boost at him. So I think this boost was kind of not so good. We can look at him again. You boost right into him, and you get immediately evaporated when you push in, and so does your Rein. Although, to be honest, your front line is weaker than your front line because you guys don't have a Brig, so your front line is definitely going to fall apart. Alright, nice speed. Alright, this is fine. See? You're taking a different angle, sure. You're not taking that much damage. Or damage at all. All this is definitely okay. However, you dropped down. Oops, I accidentally adjusted the volume. You dropped down to try and get the kill, and you actually had your boosters up. So the second you start taking a lot of damage, you should definitely have boosted out of there. You kind of overstayed your welcome, and you got grabbed. Was your team in position to handle the grab in the first place? Let me just have one time. Grab. Their Rein. I think it's possible that you could have gotten this kill by yourself if he was discorded, but since he used bubble, it's definitely not possible. Should have boosted up for sure. In terms of your actual micro positioning, you could have stayed on this high ground for sure and assisted your team from there. Being here probably tells me that you think that their Zarya has graph and you want to play this angle to kind of eat it. And he should have it soon, because he did do a lot. And you do get graphed. I think that's what you're trying to go for anyway. So definitely you want to play to not take damage when you're playing with goats. Get bubbled a little bit early. Alright. Any team's just regrouping. So you require a little bit of healing. Alright. Heal up, let's go. Alright, so now you're being contested by the opposing D.va. In terms of your matrix against him, let's zoom back over here. I'll try and play and pause. Alright, your matrix is rockets, which is good. You definitely could have used your rockets a little bit quicker. Kind of rockets is honestly not that important in a good. So you should use it to pressure the shield, pressure the enemy D.va, and force him to use matrix, which you did. So just use you can use your rockets very freely against goats, because you are not the main source of damage. Or you pushing here is adventurous. You should kind of get out there. Could you have escaped sooner? Yes, you could have. You didn't use matrix for a very long time. I mean, you didn't use your boosters for, let's see how long before you, because from what I see you should immediately boost out. So that's about 1, 2. You stayed 2 seconds too long, basically. And in goats, these kind of things, small mistakes become really big mistakes, or rather small mistakes can be punished very severely, such as simply overstaying for 2 seconds means you die. So now they have armor and it makes it really hard for D.va to secure kills, because your gun's damage is reduced a lot by armor. That's why having armor is also very useful. So now you have a Brig. So now you have a very meta team comp. A little bit late though, and 1 minute left on the clock, so would have been nice to have it a little bit earlier. Alright. You should have known that he had graph, but I don't think you knew where he was, so this is, couldn't be helped. But you guys have to. Yeah. Okay, so again you are definitely too far in front. Right. Actually, this is okay, but you should walk to be behind your Rein right now. So you staying in this position in front of your Rein, and you take a lot of damage and get demacked. So you're playing a little bit too aggressively, too early in the fight, which is why you're getting demacked. Using booster there is a little bit questionable, because you're using it to not really, you're not booping anything like into your team. So it was possible, but I don't think your team was ready to capitalize on a boop in that direction. So let's see. I think your team was very poised to come through this angle, and you booped him kind of here. So it was very easy for him to either escape through here if you wanted to, or just back out. So the boop here was not that impactful. Yeah. Not much you as an individual could have done there. And you didn't take damage there, and you got out alive. You didn't feed a lot of alt charge, so I said that was actually well done. Definitely well done from you. And high ground again, very nice. This was very okay. So the Zarya didn't use Graph previous fight, so usually in Ghosts they'll have Graph literally either every fight if they're doing really well and feeding a lot off of you, the D.va, or they'll have it pretty much every 2 fights. So last fight, the Zarya didn't use Graph. This fight, it's likely that he will have Graph. So you should discuss that with your team and alt track what you need to eat. So actually I probably should have been talking about what is your goal of eating stuff in Goat. So what are the only things you can eat is pretty much just Zarya right clicks, grab, D.va's rockets and D.va's guns, Zen volleys, Lucio's gun, and fire strikes, and these are the only things that you can really eat. And the most important of those to eat, or rather minimize the damage of, is definitely the grab, and to a different extent depending on how good the enemy Zen is. The Zen's right click into your possibly your stun Reinhardt. You want to protect your Rein from being right clicked by the Zen, and matrixing high energy Zarya right clicks will deny her alt charge and rather protect your team from a lot of damage. And fire strikes as well, of course. Should eat every fire strike. That was a goodie. Hang on. You didn't press tab for quite a while. Alright. Oh, I see. I see. The graph was eaten. Just Xenofly being Xenofly. But also mainly it's your Zarya kind of trying to throw a graph really long. So actually that was not so bad by you. The bomb, they told you to bomb, so it was okay. You definitely have boosters right here. You're taking a lot of damage, and you definitely should have boosted. You should have ran away. So I guess a recurring mistake so far I'm seeing is that you're not using your boosters to disengage soon enough, even though you do have them. You're kind of overstaying your welcome by a few seconds, and it's costing you a lot of health, or just straight up your entire mech, and you just get demacked. So let's see. How much you have booster right now? Okay, it's definitely time to run away. Yeah, you kind of stayed for 2 seconds and it cost you about 500 health. Because once a D.va loses... Once you lose your armor as D.va, you'll take a lot of damage suddenly. So it'll be like, oh, you know, it's not so bad. My health is not going down that fast. And once your armor is gone, it's... Whoa! My health is actually just disappearing. So it's likely that they will have Graph, because I don't think they used Graph the last fight. So you should be quite ready to eat that. So you see where the Zarya is, and he kind of throws a Graph right under your nose. So that's another recurring error so far. You're not keeping track of the Zarya's ultimate. So one of the key things that, by the way, in really high level, and I'm speaking this right after watching Guangzhou versus Seoul Dynasty. So what happened there is there was a fight where both D.vas ate both of the enemy Zarya's grabs, but that's not quite the job of the D.va. The D.va is to either, of course, the best case scenario is you just straight up eat the grab, but the other part is you zone the grab so that it grabs only your main tank at most. And basically it just minimizes the impact that the graph can have, so that maybe maybe the fight is still winnable. However, right there, even though you knew the position of the Zarya, and you should have known that the Zarya had graph, you just kind of let it slip through. So when the Zarya does have graph, try paying close attention to the Zarya and be ready to eat that if she, suddenly walks forward really aggressively, or is splitting away from the team and trying to get an angle. She might be trying to get an angle to do a grab. Both sides beat. Oh, you didn't have bomb there. Tried to. Okay, that was actually not bad. Oh, you don't get damage at all? Alright. Alright. That was actually quite well done. You stayed on high ground, you are really healthy, you didn't take a lot of damage. Oops. You ate that punch for your team, which is good. Better you to be punched than literally anyone else. Shoot him down, very nice. Alright. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm just noticing that you use your matrix usage is okay, but you're not alt tracking the Zarya, so I guess I would just repeat everything. And your booster usage is such that you're using it too late, so you're holding on to your boosters for way too long. And by way too long, I mean 2 seconds too long, which is, in terms of in goats time, way too long. Because 2 seconds is enough to bring you from 600 to 0. Especially when they have a Discord op, they put that on you and you're going to be evaporated. So you guys are now playing a dive oriented goats defense, I believe. I mean, when I say goats defense, I mean defending against a goats comp. Alright, I like that you protected your Winston by matrixing him. That's actually very well done. Alright, good kill. Now you should use your booster to return to high ground so that you don't take that much damage. Very nice. Alright, I like that you protected your hamster out. However, you keep dropping to low ground, and such as here, where you... I don't think this was done on purpose. Maybe he pushed you off. You stood too close to the edge and you just got pushed off. Anyway, here you definitely peaked a little bit too long. Taking a lot of damage. Oh, actually you kind of took a lot of damage instantly, so not so bad. But yeah, here you kept peaking despite being discorded. So when you are discorded, it's time to kind of play a little bit more passively, because when you're discorded, the Zen's going to be shooting at you. Somebody's going to be shooting at you, because when someone is discorded, the Zen will call, D.va discorded, D.va discorded, and then everyone will kind of focus their spam on you and one charge their ults faster, and of course pressure you off where you want to be. So when you're being discorded, you should realize that this means that you are about to take a lot of damage really quickly, and you should play passively to either remove the discord or play it so that you just don't take damage. He bubbles you. Alright, so this booster in was kind of kind of bad for sure. So let's kind of deconstruct this. You get nanoed, and this is a very common problem when people get nanoed, is they kind of lose track of their limits, right? You're like, how far can you go even with nano? And I mean, because how far can I go if I wasn't nanoed, and that limiter is just kind of completely removed because you're nanoed. So you going all the way in, now what's going to happen? You're going to get discorded, and you're still going to get melted. So you instantly die, and you couldn't really secure a kill, because let's look at who you could have possibly killed. Okay, maybe the Zen, but the Zen had trance, so we weren't really focusing anything. And even if your damage literally doubled, or not doubled, but 1.5 times, 50% more, you can't really secure a kill on anyone, because you don't have a... you weren't shooting at a discorded target, and your team wasn't really focusing the target with you. So the nano was more of a helping you survive kind of thing, I believe, just to heal you. Or maybe he missed nanoed the Winston. Whoops. But yeah, going all the way in is definitely not the play. Because even though you can go in there, because you don't take that much damage that quickly, your team can't follow. Because if they go in, they'll be discorded and instantly evaporated. Yeah, your team is telling to play safe. So yeah, know your limits even with nano. It's usually not that different from when you don't have nano, from when you are not nano rather. They're setting up for an EMP bomb play. Classic combo. Alright, unfortunate, but the EMP should come out. Very nice. A little bit high in my opinion, but not the worst. Gotta kill. Oh, you didn't matrix your team in the grav when they got grabbed. So yeah, you should definitely have been matrixing them right about there, just to help them take a bit less damage. Chance again. Very good kill. You're kind of the only tank, so you being kind of on point and having to do all these things is not... I wouldn't blame you. It's not bad, rather. I like that matrix on the Zen. Keep retaining the high ground. Very good. Don't take damage. Because now you're no longer nano. Oof. That's his mistake. Alright, now somebody must kind of touch the point. And both of you touch at the same time. So you should have seen that well, maybe not you should have seen, but in this scenario your Winston is discorded, so he doesn't want to drop down first. So in this scenario it's definitely correct for the D.va to contest the point first, just to let you know. So the way that it works, this is called ping-ponging the defense. So I'm gonna draw like a 2D image. So let's say this area is the point, and kind of this is where your Winston is, okay, and this is where you are. So in this round he's discorded, okay. So you want to drop down first to point, and when they discord you or they put pressure on you, this means that discord is removed. So let's say they transfer discord to you, or rather let me draw like this, haha, and they move the discord to you. You will jump back up, so, and the Winston will come down and contest. So this is how you stall the point for a really long time, and I'll rather maximize the time that the tanks are stalling the point with by alternating the tanks that are coming down, and this allows you to juggle the discord, to manage the discord as well. So the discord isn't on a target that is being focused, and the discorded target, which is either you or the Winston, has your cooldown to kind of escape and not be discorded, basically. So however, both of you drop at the same time, so he has to escape. So yeah, you how much damage do you take? So yeah, right about here when the bubble broke, I would have definitely wanted you to escape. But they grabbed you anyway. So I suppose we can repeat. Is it easy to tell where it's coming from? How much matrix do you have? Used almost all of it. Yeah, used all of it, and then you got grabbed. Okay. So yeah, that was a bit of odd tracking of the Zarya again. He's playing really aggressively. He's probably looking for a grab, but I probably didn't expect him to solo grab you anyway. Oh, did you have booster? Oh, you didn't really, and you probably thought that you could have touched it without booster, which I thought you could have too. Alright, Jane videos, let's go. Alright, so it seems like this is your game to lose. So, judging from the time left in the video, I'm guessing this does not go very well. So you kind of... Whoa. I have actually no idea how you survived the... You guys kind of ignored the D.va for so long and you're so low. Wow, that was some really clutch healing from your Ana to keep you up. Damn. So yeah, a lot of resources was put on you to survive. Okay, so all in all, the mistakes that were really clear to me, and this is just in goats, so I don't know how you would do in another team comp, so let's just say that this is for goats, but in some apply, such as for example, you like to be on high ground a lot, which is a very good habit, but you need to use your cooldowns when you actually need them, and you usually use them too late. So I think it's I guess booster earlier, and booster, I'm just gonna write down booster earlier, And what I mean by booster earlier isn't actually just based on the time, but based on knowing when you are about to take a lot of damage. And this could be either from maybe you are currently in line of sight of many enemies, or you're being discorded and you need to do a lot. I mean, you need to use booster to get out. So that's one thing. The next thing is alt tracking. Alt track the important cooldowns or important ultimates that you need to eat, or rather zone, using your matrix. And zoning the matrix is a little bit, it kind of comes after alt tracking, so you have to start trying to eat the graphs before we focus on how we would eat the graph with a matrix. So this is a topic that you might want to go after next, and maybe you don't have to ask me, you can ask any other coaches. Like, okay, I've been practicing my alt tracking, and I want to know how I would position, how I would be to eat grass. So, and you show the other coach that VOD, or you show me that VOD. So these are pretty much the two big things that I think you have to focus on to really improve your D.va play. Start by out tracking these important cooldowns for Zarya, and such as Zarya, knowing when he wants to grab, or knowing when he has grab, and do your best to eat them, and show the next coach the VOD. And booster earlier, well, I mentioned it already. So anyway, I think that's it for this VOD. I hope you learned something. There's a lot of things to mention about D.va in GOATs, because D.va is a really hard character, because D.va can do everything. She can frag, she can peel. D.va can do everything, so she is expected to do everything. So keep up the don't stop improving. Okay, I hope you learned something.